What's up guys, welcome to another product feedback video, and we're going to be checking out a case by Thermaltake called the Revo. Now this is actually considered a full tower case, so just be aware when you're purchasing this because it is quite substantially larger than your standard mid-tower case. Taking a look at it, as you can see here, it's got this sort of armor design. The two flaps on the front are actually made out of solid aluminium, where the top of the case actually is a plastic design with an illuminating logo, and on the front you can see that the finish is all mesh, so you're going to get a nice decent amount of airflow into the case. Looking at the top of the case, you have two USB ports, two USB 3.0 ports, an eSATA headphone and microphone jack, as well as the power, the reset button on the right hand side, and then you have also the inbuilt fan controller on the left, which you can adjust to different settings that you wish. Now that bit in the middle, that's actually a hard drive dock, so you can plug in a 3.5 or a 2.5 hard drive straight into the case without needing a separate accessory. Looking on the left hand side of the case, you'll straight away see that there's a place to hold and hang your headphones. It's a pretty good idea. It's something I wouldn't mind seeing on other manufacturers. It's always good to have a place to store your headphones, especially a lot of these days gamers have pretty expensive ones. On the left side you also have a see-through plastic window. It's not that large, but you can still see in, but unfortunately if you're cranking a awesome graphics card, I don't think you'd be showing that off very easily. However, it will be cooled because there is quite a large side cooling fan which should keep everything running nice and smooth. On the other side of the case you can see some styling done by Thermaltake. However, it does actually contribute to allowing a bit more space internally for cable management. So even though it has this sort of futuristic styling, it actually does contribute to the ease of use when it comes to setting up the computer. The styling is interesting. I'll leave you guys to have an opinion on it. It's not everyone's taste, but it does have a good build quality nonetheless. On the rear of the case, we have 3 ports or holes for water cooling, your I/O plate, so that's where your motherboard sits, and 8 expansion slots, as well as a place for your PSU. And obviously you can see it's meshed around where your video card is, so the hot air comes out through that hole, which is fantastic design implementations. I know a lot of other manufacturers actually have that part covered up with aluminium or some other form of material. When you crack open the case, you'll straight away see that they've implemented a pretty intuitive plug-in system for the fan that's sitting there. What happens is that the side panel's fan, which is a 200mm if you're wondering, actually clips in using this little inbuilt connector, so you don't have to worry about unplugging the fan every time you take off the side panel. Taking a look on the inside of this case, you'll straight away see that it's all in a black finish, so tick for me on that. You cannot have any other color but black inside of a computer. You also have a fair amount of spots for cable management, and a decently sized hole for your CPU brackets and whatnot, so you don't have to take off the motherboard to just remove a CPU. Now also, something I really like is the way that they've implemented the removable hard drives. It's basically just unclip and clip back in. It's very solid in comparison to the way that I've seen them on a few other cases. And the blue I'm not sure of, but it just seems to sit out from what the case looks like. I would have preferred it to be red maybe, but you know, that's just something that I'm picking on. On the top is a 200mm blue LED fan, which is also the same fan found on the front of the case. And then you also have a 140mm rear fan, which you can see there, as well as showing you a little bit more of the way that they've set up the cable management options. Now Thermaltake's put feet on the bottom of this case. As you can see, they don't actually have any rubber on the bottom, so if you're putting it on wooden floors or something like this, it's going to scratch. So I'd love to see them put rubber feet. That's the number one thing. And also they feel a little bit cheap in comparison to the way the case is designed. I would have thought they might have used some aluminium or something just a little bit more solid to improve the quality, you can say. They've just gone for this sort of plasticky finish. As you can see, there's also a dust filter on the bottom, which is removable. Looking at the back of the case, you can see that there's quite an array of cables provided, but this gives you a little bit more insight to the way of the cable management options you have. As you can see on the top right, there's a little gap there for your plug-in when it comes to, say, your CPU or LED lighting and things like that. So it's nice they're giving you that cutout up the top. However, there's one thing I'd like to point out. They did include a USB 3.0 motherboard connector. So if you're going to get a new motherboard, you don't have to run it through and around the back into it. However, you still could if you wanted to, but this does give you that feature inbuilt to the case, so it is up to date for all the latest different motherboards and bits and pieces out there. Included accessories include a 2.5 inch to 3.5 inch adapter, as well as a front little cutout. I was going to say for a floppy disk drive, but that just made me chuckle. But I'm saying in terms of like a little card reader or something you want to put on the front. You also got an 8-pin to 4-pin splitter, some cable ties, a little inbuilt speaker there, as well as the relevant screws and everything else you need to go along with the case. So what do I think of the Thermaltake Armor Revo? I think that you guys should follow me on Twitter at Product Feedback. Shameless plug, just kidding, but do follow me if you want to. The case itself, I think, has extremely good build quality. It's a little bit of a shame with the feet on the bottom. It just doesn't seem to go with the whole styling of the case. Would have preferred it to be a little bit better designed. The internals is nice. The actual physical size of the case is quite large. So this is, like I said, one thing to consider. And it is targeted as a full-size case. But just bear in mind that because, like I said, it is quite a large system. It's got an aggressive styling. It's got a not bad look. It's an acquired taste. But if you're willing to go down that route and you like this aggressive gaming style, I don't think you'll be disappointed. And if they can fix just those feet, and that's pretty much about it, I can't really complain too much. And I'm happy to give this 4 out of 5 product feedback stars. This is Muhammad, and I'll catch you guys in another video. If you haven't yet, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, as well as check out my other latest videos, and peace be with you.